With the winter season coming to a close, it's that time where I rank the best to the worst. But to respect your time and, frankly, my own time, those awful shows or those shows that I didn't really enjoy watching, we're only gonna get a few seconds. Whereas the best, oh, I'm gonna really explain why I love them so much. This is all a list based on my entertainment value and how much I actually enjoyed the shows. With that all said, we've got a whole lot of shows to get through. But firstly, let's talk about those shows that I didn't even finish. 28. Pharmagia. It might remind you of Fairy Tail, but that's the only good thing about it. 1 out of 10. 27. Anyway, I'm falling in love with you. There was straight up SA in the first episode. Nope. Big no. Nope. No. 1 out of 10. Number 26. The Hen Neko. The elf girl's cat is secretly an S-ranked monster. Mega Milk Elf Girl happens to adopt a sentient cat monster. Weird sexual tone ensues. 2 out of 10. 25. I'm living with an Otoko ni Konoichi. She might be able to save the main character, but we get weird masturbation in the first episode. It's got decent animation, but it's just got a really weird tone in general. 2 out of 10. 24. The Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. A fun idea with Sentai Ranger transformations and weapons, all within a magical world. But I just lost interest, and I didn't really feel like I needed to keep watching after a few episodes. It's a 4 out of 10. Alright, so those were the shows I actually dropped. We've got 23 shows now to go through that I actually completed, or are still like one episode from completion, but I digress. 23. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bam Vampire. A grooming vampire wants to suck off 18-year-old virgins, but gets caught up with hijinks. Yep, it's just as awful as it sounds. 2 out of 10. 22. Bogus Skill Fruit Master. About that time, I became able to eat unlimited numbers of skill fruits that kill you. Why doesn't he eat one fruit every day or so to get all the powers? A lame main character, he sucks at doing anything, and he really can't think for himself unless his wife or child or Smith isn't around. Towards the end, the main character is genuinely written out and it becomes a better show. 3 out of 10. 21. I want to escape from princess lessons. A depiction of arranged marriage through most of history. The princess breaks the fourth wall, and it's low-key kind of funny, but she's not enough to carry the show. Prince is very creepy, and the supporting cast are mid at best. It has a twist, but it just doesn't save it. The last episode was also pure filler. 4 out of 10. 20. A terrified teacher at a ghoul school. A well-meaning, but frankly dense human, down on his luck, is able to get a job teaching ghouls. While he's not fit for the job, the students teach him more than what he teaches them. A lot of slapstick comedy, and lots of screaming. The odd good moment with some fun secondary characters. I believe I might have gotten a lot more out of this show if I had a deeper cultural understanding. But also, the main character just irritated me to no end. 5 out of 10. Number 19. Headhunter from Another World. From salaryman to Big Four. A salaryman has to wheel and deal with several tribes, but things never quite go as they seem. He acquires a small home that are loyal, and it's honestly rather well fleshed out in personality and depth of plot of how it all goes down. But it's something I don't remember right after watching. So, 5 out of 10. Number 18. I'm getting married to the girl I hate in my class. It's genuinely in the title. All the girls like the guy, except the girl that hates him, but she gets jelly and feelings of tsundere. The main guy is painfully generic and does standard main character stuff. He's also weirdly perfect. It's uninspiring, incredibly vanilla, and even if it does have some really weird incest talking points, which, yeah, Hinamori is the best girl. 5 out of 10. Number 17. Meido Kurara is impoverish to my charms. For a lot of episodes, it has a really weird opening that just repeats for what I assume is padding. The girl insists on everyone liking her and to fawn over her as a queen bee, and obsesses over the transfer student who really doesn't care. And for a lot of the show, if the roles were reversed and she was a dude and was doing all of this, it would be hella creepy. Oh, just none of this is just original. It's wild to me that I've already seen this is confirmed to get a second season. 5 out of 10.
Number 16.
Even given the worthless appraiser skill, I'm actually the strongest. Let me know if you've heard this before. A down on his luck and worse skill happens to almost die, but he's saved, and then begins to acquire a small harem of elf girls in his eye that can make him stronger in his quest to become the strongest hero. Another of my worst skills is now really good, but this time with a lot of L's. Hey, I'm not here to kink shame myself. 6 out of 10. Number 15. I left my A-rank party to help my former students reach the dungeon depths. A pretty generic dungeon show making around a herm team and going dungeon crawling, but this time they live stream. A party dynamic that is actually kind of funny. The cast isn't awful, but the stakes are mostly whatever, and you'll forget most of the episodes right after you've watched it. It's only halfway done, but the herm just keeps getting bigger. And who the fuck is she? This new girl just got shown in the ending. Like, what the 6 out of 10. Number 14. Blue Box. Boy has feelings for a girl in the basketball team that's always early for practice. Each morning before school, he doesn't have any charisma. He gets pretty good at badminton. The sports animation is beautiful at points, but it's a mid at best slice of life romance show. Hina is done incredibly dirty and is really one of the few redeeming factors of this show for me. 6 out of 10. Number 13. Possibly the greatest alchemist of all time. Our main character gets isekai'd when he shouldn't have been. Plot happens and he ends up making toilets that piss off the church so much that they want him dead. He then owns slaves, but in this world, that's just another term for long-term contractors. And it turns into a herm. Very early on, he acquires a spider that also Pokemons itself into a spider girl. It's a perfectly fine show. It has some very enjoyable moments and some plot hole, and some of the conflict feels incredibly forced. 6.5 out of 10. Number 12. Tasokara Hotel. A murder mystery hotel where its guests are in a sort of purgatory without any of their past memories. The supernatural hotel then slowly hints as to how they died, and that person's memories to slowly come back to them. Neko is our central perspective. She died, but doesn't know or really work out how. So of course, she ends up working for the hotel and assisting future guests. It's genuinely got some good parts, and some of the mysteries are actually interesting, but it's also a little flat. The ending as well felt incredibly rushed, even if it's incredibly close to the source material. It's also all free on YouTube, which is pretty cool. 6.5 out of 10. Number 11. I may be the guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. To become an adventurer, you need to have some sort of powers to awaken. It just so happens that our guild receptionist just happens to be one of the most powerful adventurers who would rather work at a guild and clock out on time and relax home than to adventure. However, the guild's most powerful party have other ideas. It's funny, rather charming, even if it's very played out and sort of does exactly as you expect. But some of the secondary characters do actually have some interesting depth to them and PTSD. It's a little predictable, but it's pretty good. 6.5 out of 10.
And now for some honorable mentions before we hit the top 10. Now, these are shows that I keep hearing good things about. I just haven't watched them, and this is a list of almost 30 shows, so give a guy a break. We've got Medalist, Dr. Stone, Akame MD, Dr. Detective, Toilet Bound, and Orb in the Movement of the Earth. If any of these shows made it onto your list, just add them in where you think they fit best. But hey, if you've made it this far, let me know what your top 3 anime are for this season in the comment section down below, and consider liking and subscribing. But with that said, let's move on to my top 10.
Number 10. Honey Lemon Soda.
A meek girl who's never experienced love before has a love at first sight moment. Upon entering a new school, an accident happens, but due to years of bullying, She's able to push down any emotions and pretend that it's all okay. Uka is the said meek girl, and is also our point of perspective, and has a strong emotional connection and feelings towards Kai, the pseudo pretty boy of the whole school. Uka, while having zero confidence, slowly gains it as the show goes on, and while making friends for the first time in her life, learns to slowly stand up for herself and how to express herself. While Kai is that mysterious and hard to read love interest that seems to have Uka's best interest mostly in mind. It's not the deepest show, nor is it particularly unique, but it's rather well executed on its premise and a protagonist for a show like this where we actually see development. If you like school romance shows, this is arguably one of the better ones for this season. 7 out of 10. Number 9. I Have a Crush at Work. Office romance, which is seemingly becoming a more commonplace setting in anime and manga, which really does make me wonder if K-dramas are rubbing off on the anime industry, or if we've all just gotten older and now want stories around it. Anyway, I digress. Two office workers that once hated one another grow to have an intimate relationship. However, rather than make it public, they choose to keep it a secret and all on the down low. This has countless ups and downs, especially as their respective departments are put on a lot of outings and dinners together. They want to care and grow while also still keeping it a secret. It's not very original. I'm not going to pretend it is, but it doesn't pretend to be something else. And honestly, it's rather refreshing to see a relationship that's already established and we can see brief flashbacks on. We get kind of the good part with the ups and downs and them going on holiday together. 7 out of 10. Number 8. Solo Leveling. Season 2. Arise from the Shadow. Yeah, I know I'm going to get some hate for putting Solo Leveling this low with air quotations down on the list, but it's Solo Leveling, but more. Jinwoo gets progressively more and more powerful, and yep, it's just a really fun show for me. It's fucking gorgeous of a show to watch, but I'm seriously struggling with some of the depth. Jinwoo almost made me think we might get a small reflection from a big event that happened in the show. He almost starts to disassociate from all of the leveling, but he very quickly snaps back and is his cool guy persona, void of any humanity, which he almost got back. Jinwoo is just aura farming. The end of the season was some incredible awesome fightings in anime, and yeah, the secondary cast give us the emotional support. It's a good show. It's fun. I enjoy it. But it's 7 out of 10. Number 7. Sakamoto Days. Based on the hit manga, Sakamoto Days is that what-if scenario of a world where Hitman exists and seem to be far more commonplace. Sakamoto was once the world's greatest, but he gives it all up to become a husband and a father. Shin is his former protege, is sent to kill Sakamoto, but he just couldn't do it and now joins him on his new life of no longer killing. Due to this, countless hitmen are sent after Sakamoto due to the enormous bounty on his head. Its first 3 episodes really established the world and the stakes like few anime can do. However, it stumbles at the midway and never really climbs back to the high highs that it started at. Does it make it bad? No. But would I recommend waiting for a second season? Yes. 7.5 out of 10. Number 6. Shangri-La Frontier Season 2. One of the best love letters to gaming in anime. So good that I made a whole video. But it's a video game anime that really showcases the idea of what the future of gaming and what VR headsets could be, but also within the world of gaming and how people would actually interact and share information. While mostly keeping to its namesake game, it does start to explore 2 other games and as well the wider world that the characters actually live in day to day. Shangri-La Frontier evolves as a show. While it could absolutely play it safe, even just within the game, it's slowly getting bug fixes. Fights are modified, and new power-ups continue. But
what makes sense is nothing feels like it's broken, but if the players do find anything broken, that due to them constantly working on the game itself, it just gets patched. Oh, I honestly, I could keep gushing, but if you like action, adventure, video game shows, this is an arguably must watch. Even if you just like the idea of the medium itself, it's doing things that no other anime has done. 8 out of 10. Number 5. Zenshu. MAPPA just created its arguably most self-aware anime. Natsuko, a 22-year-old prodigy in the anime industry, working tirelessly, and becomes so engulfed with her work that she starts to lose sight of the world. She struggles to trust others and puts massive burdens of the work on herself. After having a massive hit, her follow-up is a romantic comedy movie themed around their first love. But due to her never being in love herself, Natsuko struggles to understand the concept of a first love. And as a result, she's unable to create the storyboard, causing the movie's production to come to an absolute standstill. One day, she passes out while working on her storyboards, and next thing she knows, she's woken up within her favorite childhood anime, A Tale of Perishing. From here, she meets the characters and tries to prevent the end of the world. The incredible factor of Zenshu is that long-term storytelling, building brick by brick and making very subtle points. Midway through the series, I wasn't sure if it was really worth finishing, but slowly, the stakes rose to a climax which deserves to be watched. Zenshu really puts into perspective what it means to love and loss, and to be reborn due to life-altering events, and how to move on after. 8 out of 10. Number 4. Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf. A reverse isekai with a simple premise. Kazuhiko, since he was a child, each time he sleeps, he's transported to another world. As such, he's perfectly content doing office hours expected of him and not to climb the corporate ladder. Rather, he would like to go home, eat dinner, pack a lunch, and be transported into a dream world where he's learned to speak several languages and is a casual adventurer, making friends along the way. One friend he happens to make is Mirabelle. While dungeon crawling, she happens to steal his lunch, though he did offer to share. They happen to awaken a dragon, and upon having that dragon's breath, he wakes up. However, the next thing he knows is that he's been transported back home, as expected. But Mirabelle is sleeping in the bed next to him. As the show goes on, we have that mix of one episode of exploring Japan and one episode exploring the dream world. A mix of exploring cultures of two different worlds, showcasing Mirabelle learning about Japan and its rich culture. Low-key, it kind of felt like this was the Japanese tourism board making an anime just to make people want to go back to Japan, and it really made me want to go back to Japan for the food and onsen. God, I miss it. The dream world also has this incredible depth with the secondary characters really fleshing out the world and providing context with dungeons and the fantasy world it offers with all of the magic. The dichotomy of the mix of stories between the quaint life of exploring and enjoying Japan and the dungeon crawling high fantasy magic world really means you can't get bored. But you also get to experience arguably a 2-in-1. The worry you would have is with direction. However, with plot hooks being in both shows, I guess, seemingly continues and connects. Relaxing show that makes me want to play Final Fantasy and visit Japan. 8 out of 10. Number 3. My Happy Marriage Season 2. It's not a very happy marriage, guys. The early episodes really start to pay off right from the previous season left off, which is a huge redeeming quality of this show. But as new plots develop, I began to worry that too much was being thrown out, but right as I began to worry, the show cuts to what it was trying to set up, made emotions very tense, and Mio just can't catch a single break. At points, I was really cheering for them both to have that happy marriage and that they might be safe. I'm not going to spoil anything, but arguably it had some of the highest emotion, to the point I even cried. It's one of the few shows this season that made me feel these kind of strong emotions, and it also doesn't miss a beat. Yes, at times it does slow down its pacing, but still, every moment matters. If you miss something,
you might just miss some of the biggest moments of the show. 9 out of 10. Please give me another season. Please. Number 2. The Apothecary Diaries, Season 2. A continuation of solving mysteries within the palace. Mao Mao and Jinshi take center stage of the second season. And now that we understand the dynamics of the palace itself from season 1, we're able to really start understand the depth of our main protagonists. But this time, more so from Jinshi's hidden past that few, if any, truly understand to its full depth. Mao Mao is still up to her old tricks and remains true to being the apothecary that looks at the scientific meaning behind the crimes and occurrences going on around the palace, and not buying into the supernatural. It's got arguably one of the most compelling characters within anime at the moment. Mao Mao's intelligence and deduction skills mix a blend of Sherlock Holmes and Miss Marple. The range of her character seemingly knows no bounds, to the point that she's as curious as a cat attempting to drink poison, then using that knowledge to solve a mystery that no one else could. Stunning animation throughout the whole series, with characters and especially the supporting cast, which adds a lot more intrigue on what could happen in the future. The tone can drastically shift between episodes, even within an episode at a moment's notice. But with us only being halfway done, it doesn't feel right to give it the top spot just yet. 10 out of 10. Number 1. From bureaucrat to villainess. Dad's been reincarnated. Tondabayashi is a 52-year-old bureaucrat who's well-versed in reincarnation due to being a lifelong otaku. He knows countless stories where a protagonist suddenly awakens within a fantasy world after saving a child from being hit by a truck. Tondabayashi lands in the exact situation. However, what surprises him most is that he's in the world of an otome game, as well as being reincarnated as the young villainess and daughter of the Duke, Grace Unvernia. Thankfully, due to the translation feature, his words and actions are translated into the exact perfect ways a lady of high class such as Grace would act. He also realizes he's been reborn into the game Magical Academy Love and Beast, a game his daughter would speak non-stop about, and its setting and characters. Due to this knowledge and his lifelong dad skills, he plans to make the most of his new life. However, his kind-hearted nature makes it rather difficult to embrace the role of the villainess fully, and in turn flips the whole game on its head right from the start. A villainess subgenre show that you'll either love or hate, and clearly I adore this show. It's well written and the characters are predictable in a game sense, but also due to the script of the villainess not happening, events unfold unplanned. A story that pays tribute to otome school games and villainous plots that came before it. But really without pandering, it's incredibly funny, very light-hearted, and seemingly breaks the fourth wall in a way you'd rarely expect or really experience. And genuinely, this is going to be the show that I have whenever I'm sad or depressed I'm gonna put on, because every single episode truly brought me joy. I could go even further, but I'll have a lot more to say on this anime in a few weeks. While I'm more aware that this wasn't on many people's radars, if you wanted to check out any of the shows from this season that you commonly wouldn't, I would highly recommend you give it a go. 10 out of 10. And that's it. This is my first listicle of the year. Let me know what anime you have as some of your tops, and also, did you enjoy watching any of them that I haven't already put on here? Is there anything else potentially I missed that could also be a must-watch? Let me know. But with that all said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.